Happy New Year, family! Mine's a bit late, but still, we can make up for it, can't we? So today, we're gonna make some chorizo and smoked mackerel rice. So stay tuned. So of course, for our rice, we have to prepare some meat. So I'm gonna prepare some prepared pork. So I'm just adding all my onions, my ginger, my garlic, fresh rosemary, some spring onions, my aniseed, peppercorn, coriander seed, or pimento into my blender. And I'm gonna also add some lemon juice to blend it. But if you don't like lemon juice because of the tanginess, you can go ahead and add water. So now I'm pouring the marinade on the pork. Add a tablespoon of salt and vegetable seasoning, but of course you can use any seasoning of your choice. And then I'll go ahead and drizzle some olive oil, and then I'll rub everything in very well, massage it in, and then marinate it for an hour. So after an hour, I'll just spread it on my crisper, your baking tray, whatever, or you can even put it in your air fryer. So a quick look at my ingredients. I'm gonna leave all of this down below in my description box, but I've also left it on top of the screen that you can have a look, so that you can have a better look of the ingredient that I'm using. So at the moment, I'm deseeding my Romano pepper or sweet pointed pepper or paprika, whatever you call it, wherever you are. And then I'm gonna wash it out very well, and then have them and put it in my baking dish. So I can say that my Romano pepper is the main one of the key ingredients for this recipe, because we're not gonna use tomatoes. So I also have some onions and some chilies, and of course you use the chilies according to your liking. 2 cloves of garlic, and drizzle some olive oil, and then bake for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then there you are. The reason being is that I want that smokiness in my rice. Okay, so I'll go ahead and blend it into this smooth paste, okay, which we're gonna use, and I'm gonna tell you how. So into my preheated pot, I add my chorizo sausages or my pepperoni in there and toast it for about a minute, so I take it out of the fire when it start releasing its oil. So as you can see, when it start releasing the oil like that, you take it off the pot because you don't want it to burn, and we're gonna add it back in later on. Don't worry, we'll get there. So I'll go ahead and add a tablespoon of butter, and then introduce my chopped onions in there. Fry it until it is translucent, and then followed by the other ingredient, which I'm gonna show you in a minute. I'm gonna add my bay leaves and my sage. If you don't like sage or bay leaves, just exclude this from this recipe. I also added some fresh rosemary, and then after about 2 minutes or so, I add my paste in there, which we did earlier on, which is the sweet pointed pepper mix that we made. Add this in and fry it for about a minute, and then introduce the chorizo sausage back in the stew. So I fry it for about 5 minutes, and then add my chicken broth. But of course, you can add vegetable broth, beef broth, or just water. It's totally up to you. Okay, so I give it a stir. Give it a very good stir, okay, and then cover it and let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. So after 10 to 15 minutes or so, I add a tablespoon of salt and seasoning, but always taste before you add these, because we used chicken broth early on. I tasted it before adding a teaspoon. Okay, so whilst the stew is still on fire, I'll go ahead and wash my rice. So I'm using 3 cups of jasmine rice, but you can use any rice of your choice. So I'll wash this until the water is crystal clear, And then I'll give my stew a quick stir before introducing the rice in there. After adding the rice, make sure that you give your rice a very good stir. Make sure that everything is well combined. All your rice is absorbed in the stew. And then after that, I introduce my smoked mackerel in there. And then I'll go ahead and add my tin of coconut milk as well. And add about half cup of water. Give it a good stir again. Make sure that everything is well combined. And then cover it up and reduce your heat to a medium low. Let it simmer for about 10-15 minutes. So this is how your rice should be looking. Give it another stir and then add your aluminum foil or your parchment paper so that it can trap the heat into the rice. But before that, we'll go ahead and add our red kidney beans and then the coriander, the chopped coriander leaves. Okay, before adding our aluminum foil. And you can always adjust this ingredient to your own liking. If you don't like red kidney beans, you can substitute it with black eye beans or no beans at all. So always adjust it to your liking, fam. After 20 minutes, I'll give my rices there, and this is our beautiful chorizo and mackerel rice ready. Let's move on to the next. So my pork was in the oven for about 10-15 minutes and it's ready, and I'm gonna dice it in small cubes. But obviously you don't have to do this if you don't like it this way, but I find it a bit better if I dice it in smaller cubes so that my stew and stuff can go on properly. So I'll go ahead and dice some red pepper, red yellow peppers and some red onions, but obviously you can use any pepper. I'll get a pan, introduce a bit of olive oil, and then put all my chopped vegetables in there and then saute it for about 2 minutes and then introduce my pork. So I decided to do this to my pork mix so that I can add a bit of moisture and a bit of flavor to it, because pork can be a bit drying. So I'll go ahead and add some hot pepper sauce, but obviously if you have some stew or any other sauce that you like, you can add it onto it. I didn't have any stew available, so I decided to add this hot pepper sauce and it came out great anyway. I added a pinch of salt, but always taste for your liking before you add your salt, okay? And it was fabulous, fam. I just garnished it with some green onions and oh, it was so good. So there we are, family. Our chorizo and mackerel rice with prepared pork is ready. So please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so. And if you're a new subscriber here, hello there. I'm Liz and welcome to my Liz Secret Kitchen, and where I cook all continental food, and I hope you enjoy cooking as much as I do. By the way, happy Valentine's Day to all my subscribers all around the world. I hope you have a good one, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Right, until next time, you take care, and I will see you in my next video. And until I see you and you see me, stay safe. Bye-bye. Fall in love. You are what I'm looking for.